As far as who's next, because that's always the question, isn't it? It's about who's next, who's going to be the next person in permanently, short term, long term. This is where we're kind of at for some of the options. Now, according to The Athletic, they say that United will take their time on a new permanent appointment, potentially wait until the summer when the contracts of Oliver Glasner at Palace, Andoni Iraola at Bournemouth, and Marcus Silva at Fulham are set to expire. So 3 managers there, contracts set to expire, which is kind of mad. Fletcher will get a chance to show his credentials, but a longer-term caretaker has not been ruled out, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer even under consideration in what would be seen as an emotional comeback. So this is actually further now. Like yesterday, it was Ollie just basically going, look, I'm available. I'm available. Yeah. I'll happily do it. And you go, well, that's Ollie saying it. It's not as if they're considering it. Now the Athletics go, no, they're considering it. They're considering it.
Do you know what I think?
Wait a minute. Michael Carrick has been mentioned as a possible return, while Evans could be appointed to the club's coaching staff, possibly in time to assist Fletcher at Burnley tomorrow. Wilcox, who would lead the process, and Barada are aware that knowledge of United can be beneficial.
I think what would happen, being around the squad on like tours and like press stuff, you realise how involved Darren Fletcher was. Like before he was under 18s manager, he was part of the first team setup. Even with Ruben
Ten Hag,
he was that
weird technical director, wasn't he? That was also on the coaching pitch, which was so bizarre.
Exactly. So it's one of those mixed match where they create a job description just to get him in there, but they're like, the club, so you just got roles, yeah. But we used to see, ask KG. KG will tell you, Josh will tell you. We speak to Darren all the time. We see him all the time because he used to sit. Because of his role, you get the iPads, he's got the coach and stuff, he's looking at the thing. So he'd sit like either beside us, in front of us, behind us. Then when you get the lift down to where the dressing rooms are or to go to the mix zone or whatever, it's like the same, depending on what stadium you are in the world or whatever, it's often the same route. So we've been in lifts with Darren Fletcher loads of times. Right, Darren, he's good. He's always blessed and stuff. So he was involved of it around there. Like I say, jobs for the boys. But like, I think looking at that, what they might do is go, Darren's going to need help. Like, it's not really, we need to just get by and get some calm. So they do know that short-termism of some people who know the club has kind of settled things down. So I don't think they'll be against, let's just get Ollie in with Carrick, with Fletcher, like just the old guard, just to get the Man United thing going again so we can have clear heads to think of the actual manager. I think they will. I think they're going to do it. I don't think Darren Fletcher sees this. You're on mute. I don't think they see Fletcher through to the end of the season. I think that they get this little Avengers assemble of the ex-players. I think it will be Carrick, Ollie, Fletcher, Evans. That's what I think.
I wouldn't be shocked with that. I think because really that's what Ollie was before. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a figurehead, and it was Kieran McKenna and Michael Carrick doing the coaching and tactics or anything like that. And Ollie was there to basically say, go out there, express yourselves, high fives, which they might do again. Which look, this is what I said last night. It does scare me. Not so much because it could go badly. It scares me because it could go well. As I've mentioned, we have, for the last 12 months, effectively been on a pattern of one win a month. One win a month. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in, or like even Darren Fletcher, right, and they go on a bit of a run where they win, say, 3 or 4 wins, right? 3 or 4 wins in a month, and they're on a bit of a roll. Say Frank gets a haircut. We have been so starved for such a long time that I worry about us getting giddy. You know what I mean? I worry about us being able to be rational enough to take a step back and go, what have we learned here, folks? Because you want to talk about the cycle, right? You want to talk about the cycle or whatever, but we do it. We do it. And I actually think if Ollie came in with the players at his disposal for the rest of the season, because you can't do too much. You're not going to do a huge tactical revolution or anything like that. You're going to do what he did before, which is go in, express yourselves, make people happy, play 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, and he'll get results. You know what I mean? He'll get results. But it's just a case of don't fall into that trap. Do not fall into that trap.
Yeah.
Because it might... I'm just thinking for the short term, it could be great. You know what I mean? Pick up results, get Champions League football. Oh, fucking amazing. Look at this. Actually, it was so much better. Good. But long term, is it the best thing for us? What is the best thing for us in the long term? And that's going to be so difficult to do because It's going to be so difficult to do because if we do actually pick up real good form, we'll be euphoric because we haven't had that.
No,
in like
we will because we haven't had it. But then you just have to deal with that when it comes and just keep banging the drum of like, I know this is amazing. We've just beat Arsenal and Man City back to back. Like, I can't believe it. I know we're third. All this shit, however it looks. But just remember this. Just remember. And I would like to say, because I don't have faith in it, I would love to be able to sit on here and say, like you're saying, like, nah, they won't. They've learned from that. We won't do that.
I couldn't guarantee they haven't.
But with Ineos, I don't know anything.
There's no plan.
I don't trust them.
There's no plan, is there? No. So what's, you know what I mean? Exactly. There's no plan. I think their plan, they didn't, you know, for all it's worth, they didn't want to let Ruben Amorim go in January. It's because it all blew up, right? I think if they were going to let him go, it'd be the end of the season. So they're into uncharted territories now. They're without a net at this point, yeah? They are like, we don't have a plan now. So this is where you get rash and, you know, irrational decisions, don't you? That wasn't part of the plan. And that's where, you know, an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or no long-term shit comes into it of like, right, let's make it up as we go along, which is scary. Very, very scary indeed. Speaking of scary, Fletch, we've got over 2,200 people watching and we're not even at 500 likes. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Let's get to 1K likes.